where do I want to go as an herbalist, and what do I want to be able to offer the community? And that's always been something that I've always wanted to be able to offer. Even when I was studying at Vital Ways, that was the goal, was to be able to offer one-on-one consultations.
Yeah. Smoking herbal blends. We need some mullein and some kush, my brethren. While listening to HerbRally Podcast again. Herbalism at its finest with Mason Hutchinson. Yeah.
Welcome back to HerbRally. Today I'm excited to have on Kassaundra Lynn. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mason. Glad to be here.
Of course. And this is your second time on the HerbRally channel. You are back in episode 45 of the Herbalist Hour. So if you want to take a deep dive into Kassaundra Lynn and all the amazing work you do, definitely check out that episode. I will link to that in the podcast show notes, YouTube description, etc. But basically, Kassaundra is an owner of, or the owner of Rooted Remedies, based in my hometown of Eugene, Oregon. Wonderful herb shop. And just kind of curious, how is everything going with Rooted Remedies so far?
Yeah, since last time we talked, things have just changed and grown so much, which is exciting. I recently added a new addition to the shop called the Tea Nook, so people can come and gather, utilize all of my wonderful herb books that I don't use on a daily basis, but deserve as much love as they've given me, and enjoy a cup of tea.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've also started doing workshops again this year, so I tend to only do them in the springtime, but I'm thinking of expanding that into online classes as well.
So how has the Tea Nook been working out? Is it kind of like a word of mouth thing? Are you just kind of putting it out there on your newsletter? Are people starting to almost not take advantage? Are folks starting to hear about it and actually hang out, drink tea, almost like a coffee shop vibe?
Kind of, yeah, and all of the above, and spreading the word, like just word of mouth. They've put things on social media and the newsletter, and just a place to come hang out and gather over, specifically like tea and the herbs, or really whatever they'd like. But the idea behind the apothecary when I first opened was a place for the community to gather, and for so long it's just been retail, and then the classes and workshops, but to have somewhere that people can actually just hang out for a little bit and enjoy a cup of tea, a little break during the day is nice.
Absolutely. Those books that are available in the Tea Nook, is that kind of like, when I remember when I interviewed you, it was kind of like a herbal library of sorts where folks would check it out. Is that still happening as well?
So I've cut back on the checking things out because I haven't received a couple books back.
Oh man, some people got to ruin it for everybody.
I know, but I still want them to be available, so people can enjoy them while staying at the store.
Hopefully one of those books wasn't Medical Herbalism by David Hoffman, because that thing is a beast.
It is a beast. No, I still have that one.
Oh, good. Okay, awesome. Well, good to hear. You were also telling me pre-call that you have started doing one-on-one consultations. Just curious if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did. It's something that I've kind of put off for a while, just intimidation reasons. But people keep asking me if I will offer that, so I decided to start offering that. And it's been really sweet. I'm taking it slow and opening the calendar slowly. But yeah, so far it's been really sweet. I've gotten some really great feedback. I actually utilize the Tea Nook as the consultation area as well. And I offer a payment structure that's like pay from the heart. And I was inspired by Camille Freeman. Does that, and I really love that, how just trying to be accessible as possible while also acknowledging that like it is time and energy and there's an exchange happening. But I just want herbal access to be more accessible to everybody. And that's been really sweet to have to be able to offer that to people.
Yeah, I've talked to Camille about the pay from the heart model. It's kind of like a sliding scale. So
Yeah.
I would say like the the first tier would be whatever you can afford, and then the second tier would be considered maybe giving you a living wage, and then the third tier might be perceived as like paying it forward to help others who might want your services. Can you clarify that? Did I get that close?
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I break it down too in each of the options for booking, like what it means to pay this amount. So yeah, basically the first tier is like covering the minimal costs of what it would be to offer this. And then the second is a living wage, and yeah, the third is paying it forward.
Hey everyone, it's Mason. Just a quick interruption from the show to let you know about our 13 herbal freebies. If you go to HerbRally.com, on the navigation bar at the top of the page, you'll see a button that says Freebies. Just click there and you'll sign up for our email newsletter. And in exchange, we're offering 13 herbal freebies. That's ebooks, webinars, videos, downloadable audio, and discounts to cool herbal companies. So if you'd like to check out these freebies as well as sign up for our email newsletter, we update you about current events, new monographs, new videos, etc. Just go to herbrally.com and click on the button at the top of the page that simply says freebies. Okay, that's it from me. Now back to the show. So you mentioned you were quasi apprehensive, or maybe I don't know, like I don't want to say nervous, but about starting these consultations. How did you kind of overcome that, and then just say, I'm gonna do this for the community?
I think it was a few different things. Just the volume of people that have asked me if I offer that and when I'm going to offer it. I had a lot of encouragement from friends to overcome that imposter syndrome.
For sure.
And then there's just the like where do I want to go as an herbalist, and what do I want to be able to offer the community? And that's always been something that I've always wanted to be able to offer, even when I was studying at Vital Ways. That was the goal, was to be able to offer one-on-one consultations.
So have you done any one-on-ones yet?
Yeah, I have a few clients. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I have a few more slots available. So
okay. So I have to
into it.
Totally. That's the way to do it, really. From my experience. Has your confidence grown since beginning this?
Yeah. And even before I offered them, like I would give, mini consultations to customers. It's like part of the job, but
you're like, wait, I could definitely do this. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, would you say you have like any sort of specialty or areas of interest when it comes to these consultations?
Yeah. I'm really passionate about the nervous system and the digestive system. It feels like that's where a lot of the root things come from, or those two. But I've also had a lot of people come to me with female reproductive issues. So I have a little bit of experience in that, and it's an opportunity to dive deeper and help people feel more empowered in that way.
I have to imagine with each client you get, you're just growing your knowledge base because you're going to have to research, figure new things out, and it's just like this never-ending journey.
Yeah, which is really exciting.
For the nervous system, are you finding particular herbs that you're working with quite a bit?
Yeah, Tulsi is always a go-to for me for the nervous system. And then milky oats is another one. Those and that pear mixed with rose is just like my favorite trio.
So we just did an interview prior to this about the Good Medicine Conference, which you'll be teaching at this coming July in Durango, Colorado, and you're actually going to be teaching a class on the nervous system as well.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
It's called Nourish Your Nervous System. And I'm going to do like a little preview workshop here in Eugene, practice
nice.
run of sorts.
Good call.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so speaking of upcoming events, I know we were also talking about this pre-call. You're going to be teaching a class of some sort. You could tell us about it, but Jared from Friends of Buford Park, also based in the Eugene area. So that sounds super exciting. Jared was also on the Herbalist Hour. Love the guy. Love everything they're all about over at Friends of Buford Park. So what is this program all about?
Yeah, so we started it last year, and it's we're calling it restorative wildcrafting, where we've teamed up to educate people on how to manage invasive species specifically to support the native habitat and native ecosystem. So we'll go out, and Jared goes over the land conservation and why it's important to support the native ecosystem and why it's important to harvest and manage the invasive species. And then we'll take them back to the plant nursery, and I teach them how to make herbal medicine with the plant material they just harvested. And then they can take whatever plant material home they want. But yeah, it's been amazing. People are really here for it. And I think that within the herbal community, there doesn't seem to be a ton of spotlight on like all the invasive species that are so medicinal, like St. John's wort and lemon balm grow like crazy here, and they're invasive. So it's these like very popular, potent medicinal herbs that when you harvest them, it's also great for the native ecosystem.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did I cut you off? Sorry.
Oh no, that's it. Oh yeah, and
Okay.
then we do it once a month. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, so will that be say May through September, or what's the schedule for that?
We're gonna shoot for April.
Okay.
Last year we started in May, and I think we were a little late for the teasel route. So we're gonna start in April this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
You mentioned lemon balm, and I just had a memory come to mind. And I remember, I grew up going to Spencer Butte, hiking Spencer Butte. I'm sure you go there now as well, living in Eugene. And one of my teachers, Stephen Yeager, was talking about, this is like a decade ago. He's like, now we're seeing lemon balm for the first time appear on Spencer Butte, which was just kind of mind blowing to me because, yeah, it's very much a invasive species. And to think that it's only quasi recently introduced to that area was kind of interesting to me. But yeah, so some of the plants are going to be working with our teasel, nettle, I have to assume blackberry.
Yeah, definitely blackberry, St. John's wort, lemon balm, certain species of rose, mullein, Queen Anne's lace, hawthorn. There's so many great ones. Blessed thistle. Yeah.
Interesting to think of hawthorn as an invasive, but it certainly is, isn't it? Especially in the Portland area, which is where you're from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're everywhere up there. Yeah, and to be able to like show people that there's also the native species of both hawthorn and rose and nettle is like, it's neat to be able to differentiate between them.
So it's been a couple years since being in Oregon. Is it Crataegus douglasii? Do you know? Do you happen to know that species?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Sweet. Then I want to say there was maybe it was the monogyna or something was one of the more invasive ones, if I recall.
Yeah, that's the more invasive one.
And that's the one that was growing in my front yard in Springfield, and I made many an elixir out of that tree. So yeah, I adore the hawthorn. So
yeah, me too.
It's a good one. Any other events coming up this summer you'd like to chat about?
Yeah, I am going to be participating in the Eugene Tea Festival again.
Awesome. Hey, you're on the board of directors.
Yes, and I joined the board of directors.
That's right.
Which has been really fun.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm excited for it'll be the second one this year. And then I'm also going to be doing the Eugene Health and Wellness Expo again this year. Which is
I don't know that event.
Yeah, I think it's maybe like the 7th year, and this last year I did it, and it made me realize how much of a bubble I live in terms of wellness. And it was a very mixed bag of vendors, from Costco to insurance companies, and then me and Wildfire Elixirs were two of the only more traditional health and wellness focused. So it's an interesting experience, but I was able to make a lot of great relationships.
That's great. Were you sandwiched into between Costco and the insurance company?
Basically, yeah.
That's hilarious. It's probably a really cool event. Where does that one take place?
It takes place at the fairgrounds, at the Lane County Fairground.
Yeah, I've attended many an event there as I was the events person for Mountain Rose Herbs, and yeah, we used to do the Good Earth Home Garden Show. Not sure if that's still going on, but that's a fun event. I don't know if you've ever done that one, but that one pulls in, I want to say, at least it used to, 20,000 people.
Oh wow, yeah,
could be good for Rooted. Yeah, it could be worth looking into. Well, curious your thoughts on this. Say someone's has a dream of owning an herb shop. They want to open one in their neck of the woods. Is it something you'd advise? Or and if so, any words of advice?
Absolutely.
Totally.
I think that it's been so fulfilling for me, and even the harder times where I'm like, all right, when is the time to pivot? Like, what challenges are going to come up where it's like, all right, now I need to pivot and maybe not have an herb shop. Something always happens that's like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like, someone came, just the feedback I get from the community and how much this space has impacted the community is enough to want me to have it open and get through the challenges. So absolutely recommend opening an herb shop if that is something that you're wanting to do, an apothecary. My word of advice, I think one of the biggest things for me has been to, like, I have an idea of where I would like the shop to go, but also making space for it to just unfold naturally and really listen to what the community is needing and wanting, and shifting things from that point of view instead of like what I imagine, because it's not necessarily, it's not just for me, it's like it's the community apothecary, and what can you offer the community, and what is the community needing and wanting, versus like pushing your agenda onto them.
It's a really interesting point. I feel like that's just kind of good business advice in general. And it's like the balance between what you want to create and put out in the world and what your audience is telling you. I'll never forget, I interviewed Bev and Claire for the Herbalist Hour, and my goal with the Herbalist Hour was just to kind of get to know the herbalist more and like hear more about their story. And someone commented, they were like, you guys didn't talk about plants. I was like, oh, right. I need to remember to always infuse a little bit of plants in there as well. So yeah, it's like juggling, what you want and what they want, and just kind of creating the magic together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really interesting. Well, any particular plants been calling out to you lately you've been fond of?
Yeah, it's the beginning of harvest season, so the second plant that tends to be on my harvesting list is stinging nettle. And so I've been working a lot with stinging nettle, and every year I tend to like go to a deeper level with nettle, and this year is just like more of the energetic lessons that nettle has to offer, of like it's a creating boundaries, but in this way to keep things moving. And every year I like to harvest nettle with no gloves or protection the first go around. And it's always a reminder how stimulating and moving stagnation, especially from winter, like the winter stagnation into spring, has been just huge, and a nice reminder to work with nettle specifically.
Love that plant. Am I recalling correctly? Do you have a yarrow tattoo?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
think there's any plans for getting a nettle tattoo? Sounds like you're very drawn to that one.
Probably.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, I just met with Elise,
Oh,
still
nice.
well.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Elise.
Yeah. And we were planning, she's gonna do Kassaundra on me.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a very new plant ally for me. But someone recently said that I remind them of Kassaundra, and it was this really sweet reminder that as a human, like, we have all of these different aspects to ourselves, and we can be a very complex human being and make space for all of it. So that's my next plan.
Amazing. I love that. All right. Well, nettle's coming soon.
That will be there too.
I do want to shout out Elise. If you're looking to get a botanical tattoo, I want to say she's quasi new in the game. Maybe for the past year or so, she's been tattooing and really honing her craft. Shoot, do we have her handle, her Instagram handle? I want to
it's
mention
Moon
that.
Deer Tattoo.
Say that again.
Moon Deer Tattoo.
Moon Deer. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so my goal is to have her on the Herbalist Hour eventually and get tattooed the entire time by her while I'm asking her questions. We were hoping she could make it to the Great Lakes Herb Fair to do that one, but maybe next time around. But yeah, she does amazing work. Brilliant artist. So shout out Elise Stillwell. Very cool that you're getting Kassaundra tattoo. That's definitely one of my plant allies as well. Like right when you said it, my mouth puckered. I was like, oh, I love that plant.
Yeah.
Just a couple more questions. Just, are there any herbalists that have been herbalists or peripherally related, or actually it doesn't even have to be in the realm of herbalism, but anyone's work that's been inspiring you lately?
Yeah, actually, with the one-on-one consultations and like the issues that people have been bringing to me, and I just listened to your Herbalist Hour with her, as a Dr. Aviva Romm.
Oh yeah.
And she's always inspired me, but lately even more so, just all of the work that she's done to bridge the gap between modern Western, the medical system, and herbalism, and be that bridge into very, very different worlds, and worlds that have very extreme sides to them. Finding that balance and room for validating both of those is something that I have always aspired to, and she's been pretty strong at the forefront lately.
Yeah, I was so stoked when she came on the show because she's long inspired me as well. And yeah, I just got so much out of that episode. It was just very inspiring. Definitely recommend the listener check that one out. Also, yeah, I hear great things about her online courses as well. I've never done any of them, but I've definitely heard really good feedback about Aviva Romm's online courses. So, and obviously books as well. So awesome. Well, Kassaundra, it's been a lot of fun catching up with you. And any like things you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. Anything profound you want to impart upon the audience?
Yeah, like, get outside.
There seems to be a theme here.
Yeah, just, it's springtime. I feel like the winter slowness we're still like trying to sludge it off and get outside.
It's such a amazing
nettle.
Yeah. Oh, nettle. Yes, absolutely. Get out there, sting yourself. I remember when I was living in Eugene, there was a particularly strong patch over on the bike path, and I'm bald, as you know, and I would sting my head just to
Yep.
get that like zing, you know what I mean? And you're actually, let's end on this. Let's talk about the
Mhm.
stimulating properties of nettle. And I know we kind of talked about it in the Good Medicine Confluence Roundtable, but yeah,
Yeah.
what's your take on nettle, even though it's a nourishing herbal infusion type herb? What's your take on like nettle and their stimulating properties?
Yeah. Nettle is so stimulating for me. Just drinking the tea in and of itself. It's like a stimulating nourishment feeling. It's not overwhelming for the nervous system, but it's very much like it's stimulating. And yeah, as I said earlier, the first harvest, I like to harvest them with no gloves or protection.
Awesome.
And that also, and I also like to sting like my third eye area as
Oh,
like
that's
an
cool.
initiation, which I was inspired by my teacher, Chris Maka. He would do that. It's like, oh, I
Mm.
love that. Like that really bringing in attention and focus and intention um, but that also means that like I don't sleep that night or that maybe the next night either. Yeah, I think that aspect gets overlooked with nettle, the aerial parts before flower and seed,
Mm.
the stimulating factor, but yeah, nettle is quite stimulating for me.
Thank you for sharing that about what Christopher Smaka taught you. That I've never even considered that. I think I was kind of my finger was on the pulse by hitting my head with it, but I've
Yeah.
never considered doing it right there. And I absolutely love that. Christopher Smaka, brilliant guy. Rest in peace.
Mm.
Absolutely love him. And yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. That was awesome. You can find more about Kassaundra and her work at rootedremedies.co. That's where you can learn about working with her one-on-one. Do you do online consultations as well, or primarily in person?
Just in person right now.
Fair
That might change
enough.
in the future, but
And yeah, you could also check her out at the upcoming Good Medicine Confluence in Durango, Colorado. Super excited for that. And yeah, thanks for joining me on the HerbRally podcast.
yeah, thanks for having me, Mason. This has been
Of
great.
course. Yep, we'll talk soon. All right.
All right. Yeah.
And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the HerbRally podcast. If you'd like to hear more from us here at HerbRally, we now have a text message community, believe it or not. Basically, it's just updates from us. We send about 1 to 7 texts per week, notifying you about new events, videos, courses, podcasts. You get the idea. It's pretty much like our email newsletter, just in text form. So if you'd like to receive text messages from HerbRally, just text JOIN, that's JOIN, to the number 541-256-2895. Again, that's JOIN to number 541-256-2895. And to stop receiving text, that's easy too. Just text STOP to the same number. It'll opt you out immediately. Okay, thanks again for listening. Have a great rest of your day.